What happens when a group of paranormal investigators start a conversation? You get Ghost of the Coast Paranormal, the podcast. Tales of the dead, the bizarre, and all things supernatural. Join us now as we discuss the Mandela effect. Hi, and welcome back to Ghost of the Coast Paranormal, the podcast. I'm Erin.
I'm Lydia.
I'm Deborah.
And today we are discussing the Mandela effect, a shift in reality, or simply a reasonable explanation. Have y'all ever heard of the Mandela effect?
Yes.
Nice. Well then, podcast is done. Thanks for joining us today. Just kidding. Have y'all ever experienced a Mandela effect?
I think we all have.
At some point in time, whether we realized it or not, yeah.
Well, and I told my husband that we were doing this, and he was telling me one the other day. He's like, it is. It's Mandela effect. And now I don't even remember what it was. I'm gonna have to text him and ask him.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting theory, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But yeah, I think we all have had experienced it one way or another, whether we notice it or not. So let's dive into it. The Mandela effect is a collective memory in which a large number of people remember. Part of the population may remember a memory happening in one way, while the other remembers the memory happening in a completely different way. So the term Mandela effect was first used by Fiona Braum in 2009. She was speaking with others during a conference, and the topic of Nelson Mandela's death came up. So before we move forward, do you guys remember when Nelson Mandela died?
So that one I don't.
You don't remember?
I was too young to care.
How about you?
Mm-hmm.
You remember?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you remember it?
2013.
Okay. So I actually remember, so like Broom and many others, I remember being taught in school that Nelson Mandela died in the 80s in prison.
Really?
I remember it clear as day. I can remember sitting in my history class.
What school did you go to?
It was in middle school. I remember it being in the textbooks. I remember being taught clearly that he died in prison. So I lived that.
Now, so in your research, did you actually Google textbooks to see if that's printed in there?
I didn't. I should have, but I didn't.
I'd be curious to know that.
Yeah, we can definitely look it up. So, however, that's simply just not the case. He died in 2013. Not in prison. Not in prison. So some scientists believe that this phenomenon is due to a shift or alteration in reality. That the current reality that we're living may not be the same for everybody. For example, I remember learning Nelson Mandela died in prison. You don't.
No.
And it could have just been Southern middle school education. Yes, I remember. Those who believe that Nelson Mandela died in prison may have had their reality or their universe shifted to a parallel one, where in fact Mandela did not die in prison.
Right.
So I could be living in an alternate universe right now. I mean, I felt that. I didn't say it was imaginary.
So Deborah is pinching Erin just so you can see what's happening over here.
I didn't say I was in a dream state.
I wanted to make sure you were real for me.
Oh, okay. So many refer to this as the multiverse theory. So there could potentially be another you walking around somewhere out there.
God help them.
Well, I have had people come up and say, like, I swear, I seen somebody who looked just like you.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe it's like
Well, I've always heard everybody has a twin.
Right. Right.
Everybody's got a doppelganger.
Mm-hmm.
But what if, and this is a little side note, but like, what if your parallel person is the complete opposite of you?
Could be.
Would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
It depends.
Oh, could you imagine the complete opposite of us would not be doing this podcast right now?
Or are they?
But it's not about paranormal.
Mhm.
They might not be in the paranormal thing. So one of the interesting theories that I came across when I first learned about the Mandela effect was the 2012 theory. Have you guys heard about that?
No, I don't think so.
So y'all remember back in 2012 when the world was going to end, according to the Mayans.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the theory is that the world as we knew it, well, at least those of us in that reality, the world that we knew it did in fact end. And it shifted, basically converged with that reality converged with this one. And so somehow memories from the old reality came with them during the shift. So that's why some people remember Mandela dying in prison and others don't. Creating some sort of ripple effect with the conflicting memories.
So does that make you question which of your memories in general
Are real?
Yeah.
It never did until that question. But now I'm gonna think about it. I mean, yeah, no, or we could just possibly, it could be like a never-ending loop, and we could just be possibly bouncing back and forth between different timelines.
So, ready? Rabbit hole.
Uh-oh.
All right. So, ever hear where somebody sees like a loved one who is passed?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know it's not just another timeline? Maybe you're not seeing a ghost. Maybe you're seeing part of a.
Well, what if
dimension.
the spirit world is another?
Yeah.
I mean, it's called the spirit world. What if it's another dimension?
Could be.
That would make sense, right? Interesting. Let us know what you think.
So, like, all right, my dad passed in 2018, and shortly after he had passed, my sister called me and she was like, I swear I just saw our father in Target. Like, he looked identical to him. And then my husband just called me over the weekend and he told me, now he's in a campground in Wisconsin.
Right.
He was like, I just saw your father. He's like, I see. He's like, walked like him, built just like him, dressed just like him. He's like, it's crazy. I was like, go get a picture. Go find him. Take a picture.
We can use it for the Mandela effect episode. I mean, that's an interesting question because could people then become a Mandela effect? If you remember clearly that, clearly, you, for example, your father, you know, without a doubt, he passed away. But then you start seeing him pop up and he's clear as day.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure you would freak out, but what if that's a parallel? I mean, that's
interesting.
I don't know how I'd feel.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do, what to feel. It's all connected in some way.
Yeah.
That would be the true, like, it's all connected in some way type theory. Yeah, no, I would probably freak out, and then I'd probably be excited, but then I wouldn't know. That was a stumper.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to go Google some stuff.
Yeah, right. So before we get into some other theories behind the Mandela effect and what some scientists theorize causes it, we have to talk a little bit about space. We have to go Stephen Hawking for a minute.
Alrighty.
So space-time is the main component of parallels and different universes. So space-time is made up of 4 dimensions formed from 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. Now, I'm no physicist, but in layman's terms, space-time is simply the physical universe inside which we and everything else exist. So this here and now is space-time, from what I understand.
Can I make a phone call to Sheldon Cooper?
So here's what some scientists are saying that may tie into the Mandela effect. And I will be completely honest with you guys, it's all Greek to me.
Okay.
I just thought we needed a little bit of science behind it.
That's good.
So first theory is time travel, which makes sense to the parallels. And so according to Gaia.com, quote, we're already traveling through time, only forwards though. This means that time travel relative to other people also exists, which includes walking together. If the whole universe was spinning, which it's not, time loops would emerge, which would give us the ability to choose from a variety of time loops to experience some of our other potential life trajectories. Since wormholes are bridges through space-time, we could use them to travel into the past or into the future, end quote. No.
So time travel. Are either of you into Stephen King at all?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Have you read 11/22/63?
No, but I've heard that it was all about, that, and isn't... There's
a series on Hulu now, too.
Is it? Mm-hmm. There's another one about time travel that he does, isn't there?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think time travel's already out there.
Watch the series. Check it out.
11/22/63.
Yep. So he basically, present day time, is going back to 1960. It's the only day he can go to. And he needs to figure out how to prevent Kennedy from getting assassinated several years later.
I have another time traveling show for you.
What you got?
Outlander.
I never watched that.
It's my favorite show. It is my favorite show, and if you like historical fiction, you'll love it. Some of my friends and my family will probably laugh that I'm mentioning it on a paranormal podcast.
It was I don't remember if it was late 70s, early 80s. A sitcom on time travel, and I cannot remember.
Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that.
Is that the one where they had like this basically portal door open up? Did they remake that show in the 90s?
Yeah.
That's the one I watched.
Stream it now on Peacock.
That's the one I watched.
Not in the 90s. There's a brand new one.
Really?
Yeah.
I
think. Wait, hold on. I can mix it up.
It had the guy. It had the bearded guy in it that kind of talked very almost like Sean Connery, but not.
Ooh, I like Sean Connery.
But he was like, "We've got to travel." Something like that. Squirrel. We were having a big squirrel episode here.
Chad used to watch it. I want to think it was PBS that came on. Wishbone.
Oh, I love Wishbone.
Do you remember Wishbone? He was a time traveler.
I know.
I know that one.
It's about a dog who goes and tells. It's a reading. It's a literacy show.
Oh, so definitely
for kids.
PBS.
Yeah, and so it's this dog, this little Jack Russell, who travels through time, but in his travels, he travels to different time periods that like classic novels are from, and he does like Sherlock Holmes. Like he acts out the books.
role.
That's cute.
So it's Sherlock Holmes, Romeo and Juliet. Like he goes through. It was a cute show.
Yeah.
Anyway, quantum computers. So this is another theory: is quantum computers.
Okay.
So the quantum theory related to the Mandela effect goes something like this. As quantum computers interact with the various states of the atomic and subatomic particles within their spheres, they affect their particles within the realities of different dimensions. Some say this alone could change specific details surrounding specific events. So these are going, essentially, these computers are just going so fast that it's affecting each layer of particles. D waves. Scientific-minded Mandela effect fans suggest that the intensity of the computational force from D-wave computers could have a profound effect on particles, life, trajectories, and events throughout the universe. In turn, D-wave machines might easily create a Mandela effect.
So that's kind of similar. So now we have two computer type.
Yeah. So what if the Mandela effect is created by man? What if
it's AI?
Yeah, well, what if they're like, we're gonna put out a social experiment and we're gonna give them two options and we're gonna see what the options are. And I don't know if y'all can hear this, but my dog is making a nest on the couch. So if you hear anything going, shh, 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 that's Blanche.
Blanche needs a team shirt.
She does. She wouldn't wear it, though. She used to wear clothes. But then she doesn't like them anymore. CERN. CERN. This is kind of funny because this acronym does not fit what it is.
Right.
So CERN is the European Laboratory for Particle Physics. Don't know, and it was formerly called the European Organization for Nuclear Research. Don't know where CERN.
Something's missing somewhere.
There's a couple things missing somewhere. What's this? I mean, what's the? Yeah, that does not match up with that. So essentially, it's an international research organization based in Geneva, Switzerland. CERN has made numerous scientific discoveries since its inception in 1954, most notably the God particle, as well as the invention of the World Wide Web.
So what is the God particle?
Well, you had to ask me that one, didn't you? I had it, and then...
Okay, so CERN stands for Council European pour la Recherche, something in...
It's French? It's French.
Yeah. So that's what that is.
Oui. Maybe.
Je suis désolé. So the God particle is called the Higgs boson, is the fundamental particle associated with the Higgs field, a field that permeates the entire universe and gives mass to other fundamental particles, such as electrons and quarks. I've never heard of a quark.
Heard of a quirk?
Quirk. We're all quirky.
Now
so most of these are all very sciencey, not very natural phenomena.
Yeah, very sciencey. So this says, quote, because of the nature of CERN's experiments, some believe space-time is being unknowingly or knowingly manipulated. There goes my question from earlier. Thereby producing CERN parallel universes. While CERN scientists have good intentions, some say that CERN's work is akin to GMO seed manipulation, in that it is taking risk with the foundational elements of our universe, atomic and subatomic particles, without fully understanding the potential risk.
So that's kind of where we're going now. So you got the GMO, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now my husband was telling me that we're not going to be eating out too much longer because they're going to start making a lot of the meats in labs. So they're not even going to be animals anymore. Yeah.
Oh. Does that go for grocery stores too?
I'm sure it's going to be
grow your garden, folks.
Well, he was saying too, if you have a garden, you're going to have to register it. They want to know who's, I don't know.
1984 is coming.
I love that book.
We're going to turn this to a prepping channel. Thank you very much.
I think the government
We have a
has
second
too much
podcast
control
coming out.
now.
Yeah, second podcast. Paranormal
absolutely.
prepping. Oh, God.
Stay tuned for details.
He said, what did you say? I'm sorry.
The government has too much control now.
Girl.
Well, yeah, they said, I mean, there's a billion TikToks on it where all these farmers were coming out and saying the government is paying them to come and destroy their crops. They don't want them available.
Don't always get what you want, is what my daddy taught me.
Mm.
I've got to feed myself and my family somehow.
It's scary.
Well, if we don't have crops, then who else are we going to turn to depend on?
The government.
Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows what they're putting in it, on it, doing with it.
Mm-mm. These are just speculations, by the way.
Don't kill us.
Please don't.
Oh, man. So
we can talk more about
we got
that.
the Vatican. We're going to have the White House. And now we're talking about the government. We'll be on a hit list.
You won't be going on your trip in a couple of weeks. You're going to be on the no-fly list. All right. So now let's see if y'all come from an alternate reality.
Okay.
So I am going to show you guys a series of pictures.
Okay.
And I will post the pictures in the video for you guys to see as well. So funny enough, this list of pictures comes from goodhousekeeping.com.
Okay. This is fun.
Well, you can see the answer, but don't look at the
Yeah,
answer.
I actually looked at this whole article.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. But I don't think I ever thought. So let's explain what we're looking at here.
So one of them is Jif and Jiffy. Which one is it?
For my era, it was Jiffy.
It was always Jiffy for me.
No, I knew it as Jif.
It was always Jiffy for me.
But I also already know why they think people think it's Jiffy.
Because you can have a peanut butter sandwich in a Jiffy?
No, because they were mixing it up with Skippy peanut butter.
Ah. Yeah, I've always known it as Jiffy. All right, Looney Tunes. It's spelled Toons or Tunes?
Tunes.
I never thought about it.
I know it as tunes because it's cartoons.
Yeah. However, the correct answer is Tunes.
Oh, yes. I should give you the correct answer. I'm sorry. Berenstein or Berenstain? Stein?
Mm-hmm. I thought it was the Berenstein Bears.
Stein?
I don't know the spelling. I just know how to say it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I was able to spell when I was learning it.
I always knew it as the Berenstein, so Stein, but it's not. It's Berenstain. The Berenstain Bears. That doesn't even flow properly for me. Let's go read some Berenstain Bears. Curious George have a tail?
No.
Yeah, he never had a tail.
I had a doll.
He never had a tail, but this is weird. Why doesn't he have a tail? Is he a chimpanzee or is he?
I think because they probably wanted him to look more like a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I mean, when you're looking at him,
yeah,
if he wasn't covered in fur,
I can see that. I can see that. Is it Sex and the City? Sex in the City.
Sex in the City.
No, it's Sex and the City.
I didn't watch it, so.
I didn't either.
I did.
But, so yeah, it's actually Sex and the City. And, which I can kind of see how that one would get mistaken, because.
That can go either or, I think, when you're thinking of the show.
I mean, yeah, they're still doing it either way you look at it. Breeze. How do you remember it?
Well, that looks wrong to me.
Yeah.
That looks wrong?
Yeah, which is Febreze.
Yeah, well, that's the
correct. But I think it's correct.
That's the correct one.
Yeah, no, I think I would visualize this one.
I remember this one.
Mm-hmm.
With the double E's instead of the one. Oscar Mayer or Oscar Meyer?
Meyer.
M-E-Y-E-R?
No, it's M-A.
And they even had a song that spelled it.
Yeah,
Oscar Meyer is what I thought it was, but you
Meyer.
literally sing it in the song.
Mm-hmm. But I do remember or so. I think I do.
Because
I remember this.
It's like when they say, did you ever watch one of those videos where they say, you know the song,
Mm-hmm.
you know the lyrics,
Mm-hmm.
but when you watch somebody's mouth say something different,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds different.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like
so if you're seeing it that way because that's how you hear it, right?
Skechers with a T or without a T?
No.
No T?
No T.
No T? I remember with a T in the stores when I was little. There's no T.
Yeah, I didn't think there was that.
But I remember the boxes as like, because for me as a 90s kid, like those were the shoes to have. You wanted the Skechers, you wanted, that's what you wanted.
I don't think I had Skechers.
And, I didn't either. And I wanted them. But I remember a T though. Could have just been my little kid wishful thinking, but Fruit Loops. Is it FROOT or fruit as properly spelled?
I don't really know, but I think I would have assumed that it was fruit spelled fruit.
See, I always thought it was fruit spelled fruit. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
Why would
they put, what is fruit with two O's? That doesn't
fruit.
make any sense.
Do you want some Fruit Loops?
Fruit.
Do you want some fruit?
Fraught. Right? Because like foot, FOOT, now you're adding an R.
Yeah,
like
but
Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loop.
But it's not. It doesn't say fruit.
Loop.
It says fruit.
Pronounce that.
Fruit.
This loops.
Okay.
I forgot
But
the S.
Yeah, no, it just don't make sense to me.
Yeah, I'm going with this one. I
We're
remember.
gonna have to rename it.
But which one's correct?
The Fruit Loops.
Deborah's giving a thumbs up.
Fruit Loops. That's what I'm gonna start calling them from now on. We're gonna be in Food Lion, and my husband's gonna be like, "We need cereal." I was like, "Do you want some Fruit Loops?" All right. Do you remember the painting of King Henry VIII?
I don't know.
I always have to count the eyes after him.
Let me see his head before you go anywhere else, because I don't know if I knew. I don't think I'm familiar with this painting.
Okay.
So I'm out of this one.
In this painting, some of us remember a turkey leg. Some of us remember something else. Do you remember this picture?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what he's holding?
I want to say a turkey leg, but no, I don't remember.
Yeah, Henry VIII never had a turkey leg in his picture. It was always a glove.
Like Deborah's saying, there are other pictures of him eating turkey legs, so maybe people are just kind of cross-referencing paintings.
Yeah. Seeing some and then not.
Right. So now they just assume.
So, does the Monopoly Man have a monocle?
I want to say yes, but I don't think he does.
He did.
Final answer? He never had a monocle.
Yes, he did. I know he did. He did. You know what all this is? All this is subliminal.
Yeah, it could be.
Let me Google pictures of the Monopoly Man without saying Mandela effect and say.
So he never had a monocle.
I don't believe it.
Some people suggest, I don't either. Some people suggest that it might be a confusion between him and the Peanut Man.
How they look nothing alike.
But I swear he had a monocle.
So, Deborah, outside which is probably about the Mandela effect, but here's all the images that come up, and I don't see one.
Type in.
Oh, that's wrong. It's just
the internet
wrong.
is broken.
Type in original Monopoly Man.
Okay.
It's wrong.
We swear.
Yeah, no.
Images.
Never had a monocle.
Except for when you see the Mandela effect ones.
Weird.
But you look, so this person made a costume and they even put it in their costume.
It's so common to when you reference the Monopoly Man, you go,
oh, but you know what? So this kind of looks like the Monopoly Man, but it's not the Monopoly Man. And you got the little.
Oh, that's creepy.
Is that Howdy Doody?
I don't know.
No, that's not Howdy Doody.
That's like Howdy Get Away From Me.
That's a creepy.
Oh, see? Am I the only one to remember the Monopoly?
Yeah, the Monopoly Man never had a monocle.
Not that we can find.
Not that we can find. I think he did. Y'all know anything about Pokemans?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Do you remember
But that one would look right
This
to me.
one with the black tip on it.
Never had a black tip on the,
Really?
on the tail of Pikachu. It was always yellow.
It looks off.
And it looks off with the yellow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kit Kat. What? Let me see. Kit Kat. Was there a hyphen in the between the two?
No.
Or
Yes.
no? I say yes. But there was not. There was never a hyphen in between the two.
Oh,
I don't remember it like that though. I feel like it was spread with
It
a
was
hyphen,
like,
right?
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
two separate words and then
yeah.
the hyphen in the middle. That is what I remember. Fruit of the Loom. Was it in a cornucopia or no?
No.
I think originally it was.
I say yes. But it was never in a cornucopia.
No, that
Really?
looks off to me. That just looks like a Thanksgiving picture.
That looks correct to me.
Mm-hmm.
That looks off to me.
But I think that looks correct too because you're associating Thanksgiving. Like when you see, that just looks like it's missing something. Because when I see that, I kind of think of like Thanksgiving spreads.
At least it's not spelled Faroot.
Faroot.
Faroot. Faroot of the Loom. Never. Oh wait, it did used to have a cornucopia, so it was the correct one. Sorry. It did have a cornucopia, so that was the correct one, not the one without.
But currently it does not, though, right?
Currently it does.
It said it used to have.
Well, let's Google it. GTS.
Let's Google.
Faroot of the Loom.
It's not.
It does not. So that's not. I'm discounting that one as a Mandela effect. Then they literally just changed brand logos. The Fruit of the Loom discontinued as a Mandela. Debunked. Is it Cheez-It or Cheez-Its?
Cheez-It.
It looks right.
Cheez-It. It is Cheez-It.
When I see the Z, it's just making me think of sheets.
I call it Cheez-Its, but with an S.
Because there's plural in the box.
Yeah, I don't call it Cheez-Its.
I'm still doing that. Since 1893, there was no cornucopia on Fruit of the Loom. Sorry. Here's their timeline of logos.
Weird.
Lion.
C-3PO from Star Wars. Is he all solid gold or not?
Yes.
I didn't watch it, but I would think he would be.
I mean, I didn't watch it, but I've seen enough of it. Yeah, I think he was all solid gold.
I don't remember him being two colors.
He has a silver leg.
Really?
And if you go back and watch it, you can see it.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Is it Flint Stones?
No.
Is it Flintstones?
I thought it was
or
Flintstones.
The first one, Flynn
Yeah,
Stones.
I would have thought.
It's not.
Really?
It's Flint.
It doesn't even look right.
It doesn't even, yeah. It's Flintstones. Ed McMahon. Where do you remember him from?
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Talk show.
He was never on Publishers Clearinghouse. Yeah, no, he...
So then who was it?
Ed McMahon worked for American Family Publishers, but never handed anyone checks. His face was on the envelope, so. But everybody...
Who was in the commercials?
I don't remember, but I remember him. And my grandparents used to say, if Ed McMahon shows up today.
Mm-hmm.
But he never did.
Oh, I used to remember getting those little packages to my house.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to win so bad.
A famous line from Star Wars in which Darth Vader tells Luke that he is his father. Do you remember it as, Luke, I am your father?
I don't remember because I didn't watch it, but
Yeah,
that's what
I
I've
remember
always
other
heard.
people, quote movies
Yeah, that's
that's
what I've
out. They
always
would
heard.
say it.
The line is, "No, I am your father." That one,
And then I thought there was another one. People were saying the actual line was, "No, I am not your father."
Well, that's like Mikey
that's
from
like
Life
Galact.
Cereal. Do you remember Mikey from
Uh-huh.
Life
Give it to
Cereal?
Yeah.
Mikey, he'll eat it.
That's not what they say.
What did
What do
they
they
say?
say?
Don't give it to Mikey. He won't eat anything.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Give it to Mikey, he'll eat it. So there's one that says, "I am not your father."
That was what people used to say.
What is it? Galactic Mari Povich? The line from Jaws. "We're gonna need a bigger boat."
Dude, I just watched that this week and I still don't know.
Is that what they say? Or do they say, "You're gonna need a bigger boat"?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
You are. You are gonna need a bigger boat.
I just did a whole Jaws marathon over the weekend.
When you think of the color chartreuse, what do you think?
I don't.
Puke green.
See, I always thought chartreuse was a pinkish color,
Mm-mm.
but it's a shade of green.
I have 2 children. That's their birthstone.
Chartreuse.
I didn't even know it was a
And my
birthstone.
husband's, yeah.
Life is like a box of chocolates is not what Forrest Gump said.
I'm trying to think of what I've watched it so many times.
This is another one that can be taken either direction.
Okay.
He
So
really
is it?
said life was like a box of chocolates. But that doesn't really make sense to the context of the conversation.
Mm-mm.
I might have to watch that tonight.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
Okay,
So how many
I've
times
got-
have you watched it? And have you ever heard it talk in the past tense?
I haven't watched it recently, but yes, I remember life is like a box of chocolates because that's what we always quote.
Mm-hmm.
But even in the context, life was like a box of chocolates does
It
not
doesn't
make
make sense
sense.
past
No.
tense.
Mama always said, life was like a box of chocolates. Life is like a box. Is sounds better to me.
For sure.
But that's one of those that can be taken any direction.
So I've got the Mikey commercial pulled up here
Okay.
on YouTube.
All
Let's
right.
see.
I heard he won't eat it. He eats everything.
He
hates everything. But I remember it as, "Give it to Mikey. He'll eat it."
I don't know now. Now you got me confused.
Oh, okay. So he says he won't eat it. He hates everything. But I remember it as, "Give it to Mikey. He'll eat it." Is that what you remember?
That's what I thought I remembered. Okay, hold on. Here's another one just for coals in the face.
It's all the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, yeah. So it's still spelled the M-A-Y-E-R. Sorry, guys. We're jumping around watching a couple different clips. So the first clip we watched was from the commercial. It was for Life Cereal, right?
Life Cereal.
And it was
Mikey.
it was Mikey. Yeah, as many of us remember, "Give it to Mikey. He'll eat it." But that's not what they say. They say, "Don't give it to Mikey. He hates everything."
Mm-hmm.
And then we watched the bologna commercial for Oscar Mayer.
Meyer. Maybe it just depends. What region you're
I was going to say what region of the country you're in. Let's see. I got a couple more. So, "Mirror, mirror on the wall." It's actually "Magic Mirror on the Wall." And I've watched this movie since then, and each time I hear it, it does not sound right.
Magic mirror on the wall?
Yeah, it's "Magic Mirror on the Wall." And I've watched it since then. Does not sound right. Sounds very weird. Risky Business.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise ever have sunglasses?
Mm-hmm.
I would think so.
Mm-mm.
It's been a long time now.
Really?
Never had sunglasses.
When people do that costume, they wear them though, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just like the Monopoly Man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We actually touched on this
Oh yeah.
the other week.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to tell you that that's not what he says. But, we all know it is in Silence of the Lambs where he goes, "Hello, Clarice." He does not say that. He says, "Good morning."
No, I'll have to watch that
But
again.
maybe it's just a different scene where he says that, like when he
Yeah.
calls her at the end,
Maybe.
because you're not just
What's
seeing.
that with Freddie Mercury?
The champions.
Uh-huh.
We all remember Of the World at the end of it.
Mhm.
Nope. Never happened.
What?
The song does not end with Of the World.
I'm calling BS.
Nope.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
Deborah's getting the phone out. Deborah's getting the computer.
So we just listened to We Are the Champions. That's the name of it's called, We Are the Champions, by Queen. And it's definitely does not say Of the World.
Freddie Mercury's Break My Heart.
It does not say Of the World at the end.
It's
Which
just
is
in
weird.
the song.
It's just part of the song. Yeah, there's a bunch of songs that you just stop what you're doing and bust them out. All right, so let's get into some more likely reasons behind the Mandela effect.
Okay.
False memories. According to verywellminds.com, quote, when memories are recalled, or rather than remembering.
Hey, I like that. Recalled. Yeah. I can recall
Yeah.
some memories and it never happened.
Quote, when memories are recalled rather than remembered perfectly, they are influenced to the point that they can eventually become incorrect. In this way, memory is unreliable and not infallible, end quote. Another reason is confabulation. Sounds made up, doesn't it? Confabulation, again, from all of this comes from verywellmind.com. Confabulation involves your brain filling in the gaps that are missing within your memories to make more sense of them.
But I wonder, and this probably goes back to the last one with the false memories, if it's more like a game of telephone, right? So people start singing the song, one person starts singing it wrong, they're singing it to somebody else, and it kind of goes down the chain and just, now we've changed it.
I don't know, y'all. My mom, sorry, Mom.
Hi, Mama.
My mom, no matter what song it is, she will sing the lyrics all backwards. And she don't even care. She can be in the house cleaning up, vacuuming, and she'll be busting out words to a song that don't even exist.
That's my husband.
She'll combine two songs into one.
Nothing
I
else.
mean, have you ever heard a Meatloaf remix? She'll combine Paradise by the Dashboard Lights and I Would Do Anything for Love into one song.
We might have to have a karaoke night with your mom.
Well, we were actually just talking about that the other day on the way back from Chris's tour. I was like, it'd be fun karaoke.
We should totally do that.
Yeah.
Is that I think Dirty Armadillo and Little River has it all the time.
Yeah.
Definitely got to go.
Let's go out.
Definitely got to go to karaoke.
With Mama.
Priming. Not Optimus priming. Priming describes the factors that are leading up to an event that affects our perception of it. It's also called suggestibility. It's the difference between asking how short a person is versus how tall a person is. Lastly, we have the scientific theory that it is alternate realities. I am more apt to choose this one just because I think it's fascinating. But because the alternate reality theory is probably one of the more far-fetched theories of the Mandela effect, verywellmind.com says this is why this theory continues to gain traction among Mandela effect communities. You can't prove that it's not real, and you can't prove or discount the possibility that it is real. So take that for what you will. Yeah. So, right. So, that being said, now that we have discussed some different theories behind the Mandela effect, you have seen or heard some different Mandelas. I have two questions for you. What theory behind the Mandela effect would you think is most plausible?
I don't think it's one thing. I think depending on, some of the things we went over, like we can kind of guess why some of those have happened. So I think it really depends. Like I think the actual Nelson Mandela one is the most unexplainable.
Yeah.
But a lot of them I think are just like you said, like a game of telephone or,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting too, like that everybody, it's not just a small handful of people that have these same memories.
Right.
It's a large group of people. So it's interesting to have the large amount of this memory, and it's, I don't know, it kind of threw me off. But yeah, like having this large culmination of a singular memory while the other part of the population does not have that memory whatsoever.
Right.
It's just an interesting. What about you?
I don't think it's one thing. I think it's a combination. And I think one of the biggest factors is, have you ever met a liar? Okay. Some people, I mean, all they do is lie. And if you tell the same lie so many times, you begin to believe it. Okay? You tell a story over and over and over, and over a period of time, little details drop out and new details come in, becoming your new memory.
Yeah. Well, and that leads to another question is, like we said earlier, what if this is some sort of experiment where they're like, we're going to select like a X amount of the population of the world, and we're going to give them this memory. We're going to simulate their environment to where they see this memory.
We're getting very conspiracy theory over here.
I love it though. But I mean, like, what if they can simulate the environment and say, okay, this population is going to learn in school or on TV that Nelson Mandela died in prison. Whereas this population over yonder is going to learn that he did not. And we're going to tell people, because Mandela effect really started happening, what did I say, in 2009? No,
it was 2013.
2013 after it was 2009 was when it was first coined.
But if he didn't die yet, how was it coined? Because people just already
thought
he
was already dead.
Well, what if he's like Tupac and just like a hologram?
He really, so you're saying he actually did die,
what if
and they're changing it to say he didn't die until later?
What if?
I think they were trying to cover something up.
Are there photos of him from the 80s through there that are like publicly can be found to prove that he actually was alive?
I hadn't looked for him. Hadn't thought about it.
No, I didn't either. How did we not do that?
Anyway, so last question is, do you guys personally believe in the Mandela effect?
Yes.
Sure.
Deborah's going home mad tonight.
I sure am.
We turned her whole world upside down.
Y'all have crushed me.
She's going to listen to all the music.
Watch a couple movies.
Oh, look, this says, did the real Nelson Mandela really die in 1985? Well, let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach us on our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Send us a message on any of those. And y'all got anything else to add?
Don't think so.
I'm mad.
Deborah's mad.
I'm mad.
Well, there you have it. Mandela effect. Did you have a shift in reality? Until next time, y'all come back now, you hear?